Acting Speaker.
Can all get seated? Good afternoon, Acting Premier, ESCO members, chairpersons of our portfolio committees, our whips led by the Chief Whip, honorable members, our troikas from all different local municipalities and the district, our HODs, our community stakeholders. Before I call members to debate the reports, I would like to inform the House that members of the public will only observe the proceedings as honorable members are debating, because members of the public were already given an opportunity to do so. We now come to the debate of the report of the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlement by honorable members. Speakers list are as follows. The first one will be Honorable Makaka. From DA. Bafake 12 minutes.
Acting Speaker, I think it is important to kick off our debate on the visit by human settlement in this region by first tracing origins of the mandate the Department of Human Settlement has. In that way, Acting Speaker, we can robustly assess whether the department is doing enough to fulfill its constitutional enshrined role of providing decent shelter to the residents of Sarah Batman. Acting Speaker, Section 26 of the Constitution states that everyone has a right to access adequate housing, whether in urban or in the rural areas. Sadly, that right does not seem to find expression in the minds of the current leadership of this district, and that, Acting Speaker, is extremely disappointing. The state, Acting Speaker, must take all reasonable legislative and other measures within its available resources to achieve a progressive realization of this right. Speaker, this department will know that establishing sustainable human settlement takes more than merely building a house. It requires the identification of suitable land to accommodate the provision of basic services. It requires negotiations within the communities who often refuse to relocate to make way for development. These challenges, Acting Speaker, are so real. Speaker, it also requires fostering social integration to redress the legacy of the past spatial planning. It also, Acting Speaker, requires a delicate balancing act between competing priorities and optimizing limited resources. Every decision, Acting Speaker, has to be truly considered and carefully implemented. There are no easy solutions or shortcuts to success in this field. Madam Speaker, we acknowledge that the current government has done fairly well to provide shelter to over 4 million South Africans, but as the Eastern Cape, we still have to do more. In the words, Acting Speaker, of the Public Protector, from the report released last week, the backlog and the deficiencies on the service delivery for housing in the Eastern Cape province is a joint reflection of improper intergovernmental relations in all affected spheres of government. The Protector, Acting Speaker, goes on to say that despite the efforts by human settlement, a current backlog of 600,000 housing projects exist in the province, which therefore suggests that the department has not placed adequate measures to provide servicing beneficiaries with government subsidized housing. Speaker, part of the fault lies here. In an era where rhetoric, sloganeering, and all sorts of populist tantrums as socialist political activists, it is almost impossible to have a rational debate about important issues with the current government. More so, Speaker, the issues being debated affect human dignity, such as the right to have an adequate housing. As politicians, Acting Speaker, we carry a heavy responsibility to engage on these issues in a meaningful way to find dignified solution. Yet some among us pollute these debates with reckless statements encouraging land invasion, such as what we have seen at Kocha municipality. We know who is behind and we know what the reasons are. Madam Speaker, these individuals missed the point entirely. Their actions are to the detriment of the people and have set planned state intervention backward by years, as some of the invaded land is actually demarcated for housing development. Speaker, our oversight to Sarah Batman region revealed the human face of these delays is housing delivery. When a house is not built, we condemn the beneficiary and their family to a life of objective poverty and indignity. We deprive them of the shelter, but also of safety, of family, and of belonging. What does it say to those who have been waiting for decades on empty promises of the ruling party when just 13 houses are built out of 323? What does it say about the officials who do not ensure the budget are spent, like the 98 million meant for building houses, and they have only spent 32 million? Speaker, if these officials were truly committed to fulfill their mandate, they would have been demanding performance from the suppliers and ensuring that houses are delivered on time and above specification. There should be zero, Speaker, tolerance for short work, instant blacklisting of suppliers that produce work that later requires rectification. Speaker, we come here to tell people we care and that we are listening to their needs. But when you leave this place, what is it that is being done? Previous reports, Acting Speaker, have flagged that back infrastructure challenges stand in a way for housing delivery in this district municipality. Findings, Speaker, were made and recommendations were proposed. But as we stand here and debate another report, nothing, and I mean nothing, has been done to address this issue. Where is accountability here? Ears, Speaker, are definitely too deaf to hear and eyes are too blind to see. Another challenge is the issuing of the title deeds. Even when houses are actually get built, we seem incapable of handing ownership over to the rightful beneficiaries. The answer is why. In an incorruptible system, you will identify beneficiaries, determine their needs, embark on the project, and on completion, hand over the project to the beneficiaries. Honorable Speaker, just as we must ensure that rightful beneficiaries receive houses, we need to take proactive steps to ensure that we use government spending to develop skills of our own province. To this end, Speaker, I'm not in any way endorsing the demands of the local construction mafias who demand contracts without delivering work. These individuals must be dealt with in the harshest of terms, for they are stealing from the poor. Rather, Speaker, I'm advocating for the genuine upliftment of local construction companies who take pride in their work. Companies that will create jobs and salaries that will put food on the table in households battling under the cost of living crisis. We must ask ourselves why the department is giving contracts to companies based outside our country's borders, when we have capable business desperate for work within our own province. Even more so when those foreign companies are not delivering on their mandate, there is no accountability. Why is the department doing that? No, Speaker, even the blind can see how corrupt our system
Honorable
is.
Makaka.
Something is wrong.
Sorry, Honorable Makaka.
Yeah,
Honorable Saziwa, your hand is up.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. I rise in terms of Rule 80, Sub-Rule 2, wherein I would like to ask the member whether he's able to take a question.
My WhatsApp group is working very well. You can WhatsApp me. Yeah.
I wanted to check whether, have you got your title deed?
Acting Speaker, Acting Speaker, in closing, Speaker, the report as tabled by the Department of Human Settlement in this district municipality is a true reflection of the failure of the department. And once again, it is highlighting just how bad mismanagement of the state fund has become. We cannot allow this, Acting Speaker, we cannot allow this rot to continue. The province needs to
3
be
minutes,
rescued,
3 minutes left.
and the DA has a plan, Chair. Thanks.
There are changes, honorable members. EFF Speaker is going to be Honorable Kotoi, not Honorable Vena. Honorable Kotoi.
Yazibani ngenandaba. Enkosi sekela osihlalo mandithathe elixesha ndibulise kumalungu endlu yowiso-mthetho, ndibulise kwiinkokheli zoomasipala ezilapha, kubantu basesarabatmani abasibukeleyo. Ndinewari ke Speaker yokokuba abantu abasekho xa sisenza ezi debates, abanye abasiva bebenezinto bebezisile apha. The Constitution of South Africa is clear, as Honorable Speaker, that anything that is not in line with the Constitution is invalid. Lawmakers failing the law they have enacted. Housing is the basis of stability and security for an individual or family, the center of our social, emotional, and sometimes economic lives. A home should be a place to live in peace, security, and dignity. Taking into consideration that Mlambo project houses have cracks, umbona umntu ngaphandle, akukho ceiling, no toilets. What about the right to safety? You can safely say that the Department of Human Settlement has failed our people. How was the handover done? Is Indlu not completed? The Department of Human Settlement is mandated in terms of Section 26 of the Constitution of Republic of South Africa of 1996 and Section 3 of the Housing Act of 1997 to establish and facilitate a sustainable national housing development process in collaboration with provinces and municipality. Ward 1 people in Cook House, 64 houses were approved during the time of Honorable Nokolo Kiviti. What interventions were done by this sixth administration in that? Cardinal Pillar 1 of the EFF, expropriation of land without compensation. Siyawuthatha lo mtshini ngo-2024 to liberate the poorest of the poor. I-Constitution clear with sanitation, Honorable Speaker. The Bill of Rights is a cornerstone of democracy in South Africa. The Water Services Act provides that uzawulila. Everyone has a right of access to basic water supply and sanitation services. Uzawukhala ke Honorable Makashela. Ward 1 people in Cook House are still using bucket system. Siphi isidima sabantu. The right to access a toilet is a basic human right. Human dignity is the recognition that human beings possess a special value to their humanity and as such a worthy of respect simply because they are human beings. Treat people with dignity. Honorable Speaker, asinokuvala apha. Sitye sihlale apha singaphumi. Wonke umuntu olapha ahlale apha for le mini namhlanje singayi ngasese abantu abaninzi apha bangafa. Abantu bebekhalaza apha ngezindlu zangasese abangenazo. Sithi mabathini. This taking legislature to the people is done for compliance or for the people of Sarabatman. Intoni abantu base Sarabatman abayizuzayo xa sisiza kubo apha. What role is the legislature playing kwaba bantu ngokuthatha le ndlobiso mthetho izise apha kubo? I-volunteer litshilo apha. Lathi aliyazi noba bazawuthini na ebantwini. Sizawulikhangela ke la volunteer. Silinike iform ye-EFF. Sisawugqiba silinike imanifesto ye-EFF. Ukwenzela into kokuba ze likwazi ukuthetha phambi kwabantu. Lingoyiki ukuthetha phambi kwabantu. Sibonile no MEC uye wadlalela ecaleni kulaa ndawo ngoba abantu bathetha inyani and badikiwe. Bantu basesarabatman. I-EFF lithemba lenu lokugqibela. Njengokuba nakwi-cardinal pillars ze-EFF into ye-sanitation Cardinal Pillar number 4 into ebalulekileyo. Enkosi, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kotoi. Honorable Chief Whip of this House, let me raise my concern. It's a serious one regarding the absence of the members of the opposition parties in this plenary. I think it must start with us as members of this House to respect the decorum of this House and to respect the voters of a Sarabatman district. So I need your office to attend to that as the whippery of our Eastern Cape Legislature. We can't allow this to happen at all. Thank you. Honorable Becker.
Thank you, Acting Honourable Speaker. Greetings to you, and thank you for this opportunity again. All protocols observed. Acting Speaker, earlier this year I asked the MEC whether she can supply the House with a full report with regard to the current status of housing in the Eastern Cape. She did respond. Thank you for that. There is a clear trend that the number of houses that got built is declining every year. From the statistics that the MEC provided, it seems as if the transfer of title deeds does not deserve the priority that the Freedom Front Plus would like to see. I must admit that there is a growing trend in the transfer of title deeds when we look at the entire province. But 2,565 transfers of title deeds is a drop in the bucket. In the Nelson Mandela Bay and Joe Garvey, for 2022 and 2023, there was 0 transfers of title deeds. For OR Tambo, only 33. According to Stats SA, the largest concentration of the population in the province of the Eastern Cape is in OR Tambo district, with more than 1.5 million people, followed by the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality with 1.19 million people. Acting Speaker, maybe I'm wrong, but I do not see the urgency that the housing crisis deserves. The depopulation of the countryside leads to enormous pressure for housing in and around our cities and large towns. I see far too many shacks and far too little proper houses. Thank you, Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Becker. Honorable Matuan.
Honorable Acting Speaker, the Acting Premier of our province here present, Honorable members of the Executive Council, the Chief Whip of the ruling party, Honorable members, the troikas of different municipalities here present, the Executive Mayor of the district, Honorable DeForce, distinguished guests, fellow South Africans, good afternoon. Perhaps before I spoil my presentation on behalf of the ANC that I'm going to talk about here, let me just demystify some of the issues raised. The first one, to advise Honorable Magaga from the official opposition about procuring foreign companies. I'm not sure where he gets that, Honorable MEC. Because if he understood the legislation, the constitution, the supreme law of the land, Section 217 of that constitution talks about how organs of state should conduct procurement in a fair, equitable, competitive, and transparent manner. In this regard, you would expect that everybody in this country would submit his or her own application to get a contract. So it's not confined only to an Eastern Cape-based contract. But of course, it is this organization, the ANC, that encourages development of local contractors in the context of our transformation agenda. It is our due care to ensure that the economy belongs to those that are in the majority. Further, he speaks about a myth of fault lines. I think we must address that question as well. Honorable Magaga, during this MTSF period only alone, we have delivered 27,000 housing units in this province. Only this MTSF. So when you speak about fault lines, you should be reminded that in the Western Cape, as part of your gimmick, your political gimmick, because you already understand that you have the responsibility to transform the apartheid partial form
you promised people of the city of Cape Town about development of social housing in Woodstock, Salt River, and the last one is Inner City. To date, those social housing developments have not kickstarted. Because we understand that program of social housing was and remain intended to assist our community to be closer to work opportunities, which is what you're not doing in the city of Cape Town. You're giving our communities further accommodation that are far from work opportunities. That for me is the biggest fault line, is a political gimmick on your part. Honorable Acting Speaker, today I stand here to debate a matter of utmost importance, human settlement in Sarah Baartman district, reaffirming our commitment as the African National Congress of transforming the apartheid partial form, building sustainable and integrated human settlement, forging an inclusive and cohesive nation where citizens experience democracy in its purest form. We're having this debate, honorable members, as we commemorate International Human Settlements Month as designated by United Nations Human Settlement Program, UN Habitat, reminding ourselves that human settlements touch the very essence of our society and the well-being, with the slogan of saying, leave no one behind. Furthermore, Honorable Acting Speaker, the Department of Human Settlement is celebrating the Human Settlements Month, commonly referred to as Joe Slovo Month. A pure Democrat and a communist, the founding father of this department. The Sarah Baartman is known for its incredible natural beauty, diverse landscape, and vibrant tapestry of communities. However, beneath this captivating facade lies a stark reality, a reality of spatial disparities and inadequate provision of human settlement. Many of our fellow citizens in these districts remain and live under serious substandard conditions without access to basic services and are exposed to numerous hardships, and the COVID-19 pandemic has left these communities with an imminent threat to their livelihoods. It is important to note that the impact of climate change has had serious consequences to our fellow citizens in the region. The drought has had a negative impact on the local economy and generally livelihood of the citizens. This required, honorable members, our immediate attention and concerted efforts to address the challenges faced by residents of Sarah Baartman, particularly in the area of human settlement. This Portfolio Committee of Human Settlement remains resolute in ensuring that these challenges are resolved and the dignity of people of Sarah Baartman is restored. It is our moral duty and obligation as elected representatives to tackle these challenges head on. The right to shelter in South Africa has its historical and philosophical genesis, encapsulated in the now celebrated 1955 Kliptown Manifesto of the Liberation, the Freedom Charter. In respect of human settlement, it declares as follows: there shall be housing, security, and comfort. All people shall have a right to live where they choose, to be decently housed and bring up their families in security and comfort. However, Honorable Speaker, this is indeed to us a housing question, as pointed out by Frederick Angius in 1872. We must get now to the actual details of what the government has done to demystify some of the fault lines that people are talking about, the so-called fault lines. We stand here as the ANC to applaud the departments on the stride it has made in creating sustainable human settlements in the past 10 years, delivering here in Sarah Baartman, delivering a total of 4,296 BNG units, 3,418 service sites, and 838 rectified units in the district, in Sarah Baartman. Our MTSF, which is current administration, our MTS period, the department has delivered 517 units, 1,167 sites, 290 rectified units in the district of Sarah Baartman. From 1994 to date, the department has made sure that the project beneficiaries have secure tenure. We know the importance of owning an asset. Many of our forefathers died so that all of us can own an asset in our own land of birth. Our beneficiaries, we've made sure that they secure tenure through delivery of 33,000, Honorable Berger, 33,720 title deeds in this district. We still have a backlog of 16,000 that we still have to accomplish. Over the MTSF period, the department has delivered a total of 1,600, which is from 2019 to date, 1,626 title deeds, which is also something to note. The importance of having a title deed cannot be overemphasized. It not only defines the ownership of one's property, but also stipulates the rights and privileges of the owner, which is something previously disadvantaged populations were denied by the system, the apartheid system in this regard. The portfolio committee, as presented by our Honorable Chair, Honorable Twabu, visited the district to conduct oversight to running project to ascertain the quality of human settlement projects that are delivered to deserving beneficiaries. The visit was intended to assess the state and progression of running projects in the district as already presented by Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Acting Speaker, we have noted with discomfort that during the financial year, the numbers are not showing in the delivery of human settlement. Whilst we have performed fairly well in the previous years in the district. And I think the report was clear to explain what has to be done. Honorable Acting Speaker, the other performance on slow progression of project in the district, we want to note that is something that has to be improved, and measures must be taken, Honorable MEC, to make things happen. The direction must be fixed right and ensure that everybody works to the T. Issues of poor workmanship identified in some of the projects, slow progress in some of the projects must be addressed immediately so that people can have their homes. The department must closely monitor performance of contractors that deliver on such projects is accelerated. Other identified factors inhibiting contractor performance, Honorable MEC to Honorable Speaker, leading to site abandonment in site abandonment are double and triple handling. We want to make this point. When a contractor is employed in Sarah Batman, that contractor has to source material far from where the project is. The inputs to the projects are not found in the region, which causes double and triple handling costs that are associated with the time and distance, as the contractors takes time to source building materials of the district due to unavailability in the same area. In order to address this, Honorable Acting Speaker, the department should consider granting such contractors a maximum quantum which will enable them to cover the cost attached to double and triple handling. Additionally, honorable members, the department must provide necessary support to contractors experiencing cash flows to curb the incidence of site abandonment, which is the case in projects that were reflected by the Honorable Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee. Furthermore, we want to emphasize this point as the ANC, that a panel of contractors must be appointed to ensure that the contractor replacement are undertaken with minimum delays. The implementation, let me pause here. We note the office of the district that is not taking the way that we would have loved. The implementation of the change management strategy in the region of the department should be encouraged to bring in innovative ideas that will strengthen.
You are still having 7 minutes left.
That will strengthen, thank you, Honorable. That will that will bring innovative ideas to strengthen technical and project management capabilities in the district and progressively tackle the performance challenges in the district. Such planned actions with regards to change management, Honorable Acting Speaker, must be welcomed by all of us, with the hope that they will yield the desirable outcomes at an accelerated rate. We have heard our community have spoken about asbestos. Asbestos roofing is a serious challenge and hazardous and health hazard. And I must pause here, Honorable Acting Speaker. Asbestos is a health hazard in an apartheid relic that still is asbestos. It's an apartheid relic that still weighs heavily on the health of the poor. But we must note this. We must note what the MEC said. We must note what the MEC said, that over the next period of time, which is this current financial year, the minister has allocated 220 million to address asbestos backlogs, targeting 27 projects, and hopefully Sarah Batman will be part of those, because Eastern Cape is part of those identified provinces. The finalization of asbestos abatement policy guidelines will go a long way in providing guidance towards the total eradication of asbestos roofing in the province. Honorable Acting Speaker, we will continue to place emphasis on the importance of owning a decent, good quality home because it restores dignity, creates sustainable and healthy communities, and enhances safety net for the vulnerable groups in our society. A decent house, a decent quality house has a required structural integrity and is connected to basic services such as electricity, grid, water, and sanitation services. The same can be said regarding the informal settlement upgrading in Ndlambe municipality, and I want to applaud the Honorable MEC and this government for bringing what is called ISUP to develop and upgrade informal settlements to be acceptable because our communities live there, whilst they wait for permanent solutions. The department must therefore exploit its intergovernmental relation structures and champion integrated planning to ensure that the infrastructure installation challenges that often plague the third stage of informal settlement upgrading projects are minimized.
3 minutes left.
There must be continual engagements with ESCOM to encourage the smooth expedition of electrification in all our projects. Sarah Batman Municipality honorable members and the department must hasten the provision of bulk services to ensure that there is delivery of human settlement, as the honorable chairperson has raised earlier on. The coordination of government activities between its spheres of government is of utmost importance and must be maintained to ensure that we deliver on our project pipelines. Furthermore, the department must explore alternative so that we don't accept this excuse that there is no bulk all the time. We must explore alternative innovation solutions to upscale human settlement delivery in the district, with a particular focus on the municipalities that currently have no pipeline due to lack of adequate bulk to connect new housing. This can be done, as the MEC has explained earlier on. If you have forgotten, Honorable Kotoi, please remember what she said about recycling water, in case the English left you there. Honorable Acting Speaker, the destitute, the elderly and disabled must continue to prioritize in human settlements in the district. This will optimize available resources and ensure that there is delivery as led by this ANC. The department must always ensure that local contractors are prioritized. This is our policy, Honorable Mark, is not yours. This is a critical tool to restructure the national economy, reducing poverty and driving economic agenda, transformation agenda of the African National Congress. Sarah Batman District has incredible potential for growth and development. Having said all this, we must not only address the current human settlement challenges, but we must also plan for sustainable, future-proof communities. The current challenges may be pressing and multifaceted, but with our unwavering commitment to their resolution, they are not insurmountable. Thank you very much, Honorable Acting Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Acting Premier, the Chief Whip, members of the Executive, all members of the Legislature, the Executive Mayor of Sarah Batman, your MMCs, and all troikas present, the HODs and all government departments present, the officials from the Legislature, our religious fraternity, abahlali base-Sarah Batman, naye wonke umuntu okhoyo apha namhlanje. Masiphinde sithathele ithuba sinibulise, sibulele ngokubakho kwenu namhlanje. In particular, our people of Sarah Batman, who are here today to witness and participate in this Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature proceedings. It is indeed an humbling experience for us as the Department of Human Settlements to be standing in front of you, the people of Sarah Batman, to give account to the work the Eastern Cape Provincial Department of Human Settlement has been doing in your district locality. For us, the Taking Legislature to the People program gives us an opportunity to focus directly on the work we are doing in your locality, to give account of our plans going forward, and for the people to be part of those plans. It is for this reason that we appreciate the comments and the questions that came earlier here today and that were posed by communities, including those that are connected virtually. Now, as we're going to participate in this important debate, we feel important that we echo the call of the ruling party, the government of South Africa, in calling for peace in Gaza and for the United Nations to play its role in bringing the Israeli government to take responsibility for the atrocities against the people of Palestine. To the Palestinians and the peace-loving people of the world, in your justifiable resistance against the occupation and oppression, be reminded of the manifesto of the glorious People's Army, Umkhonto Wesizwe, and I quote, "The time comes in the life of any nation when there remain only two choices, submit or fight," close quote. Honorable members, on behalf of the Department of Human Settlements, I wish to welcome the Portfolio Committee report following the visits to the projects of the Department of Human Settlements in the Sarah Batman district. We commit to submit the detailed response to the Office of the Honorable Speaker of the Legislature, consistently within the standing rules of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature. But for the purposes of this august sitting today, I want to make brief reflections on the state of human settlements in the district. Now, this is important as the people of the district are here to hear for themselves what the government of the people is doing and planning to do to change their lives for the better. We are giving this reflection on the state of human settlements in the district within October, the Human Settlement Month, as mentioned earlier by Honorable Matiwane. And the theme and the focus for this year is, and I quote, "Resilient urban economies, cities as drivers of growth and recovery." The Portfolio Committee correctly raised concerns on the slow delivery of housing units against our set annual targets in this district. And to this end, the department emerges out of its annual strategic planning review session, which was held on the 17th and the 18th of October 2023. We have developed a turnaround plan for the department, which we will submit to the Portfolio Committee. The departmental turnaround plan will assist the department in meeting its set targets and deliver to the aspirations of our people. This is important to us as a department as we continue to combine our collective efforts to establish sustainable integrated human settlements in the province. We are compassed compassed by the manifesto of the ruling party, the African National Congress, and the Freedom Charter, which declared there shall be houses, security, and comfort. Honorable members, in the area of Sarabatman, we are confronted with the challenge of bulk infrastructure, which leads to underspending in the departmental allocation. To address these challenges, the department is devising means and strategies to address this bulk infrastructure challenge, working with the municipalities and the Department of Water and Sanitation. Out of our annual regional budget, there is 10% that is set aside to address bulk infrastructure challenges within the region. However, this allocation cannot address all bulk challenges immediately. Therefore, the alternative solutions to address the bulk issues which we are discussing with municipalities, and a comprehensive plan will be developed with the required resources and timeframes. The department will make use of innovative building technologies to hasten the delivery of shelter to our people. The department is undertaking 2 pilot projects in the Sarabatman district. Honorable members, as the department, the issuance of title deeds program is very important to us because the program is at the core of the restoration of the dignity of our people through title deeds. To us, the title deeds do not just represent a mere paper, but it ensures security of tenure. Hence, we are committed to attending and resolving our challenges and weaknesses in the issuance of the title deeds. We have embarked on an MEC-led campaign to roll out the issuance of the title deed at a massive scale under the theme of restoring the people's dignity through home ownership, one title deed, one beneficiary. As a department, we have appointed 28 conveyancers in various municipalities to accelerate the registration and the issuance of title deeds to homeowners. And this has made it possible to resolve some of the administrative blockages, such as township establishments, outdated general plans, and township registers. These conveyancers are already introduced to their respective municipalities and have started working, and we will be reinforcing them with town planners to speed up the process. The town planners and conveyancers are appointed to assist in the capacity limitations that are there in our municipalities. In the Sarabatman district, we have handed over 33,720 title deeds since 1994, a story of good progress that we aim on improving for the better lives of our people. We have launched the Title Deeds Friday campaign to speed up this issuance of these title deeds to ensure security of tenure, and I'm happy to announce that on Friday, together as the members of this house, we will be issuing title deeds to 160 beneficiaries of Kronsvale location. As the department, we acknowledge and take to heart the recommendations by the Portfolio Committee on State Hillerville 82 project. We will improve construction monitoring on site to ensure that the contractor will not abandon site. In the project, the contractor has requested additional funding to accommodate the current project-related site conditions, and currently the request is under assessment. It is anticipated that it will be finalized by the end of October 2023. The department is working closely with the municipality, ensuring that there is water provisioning of water tank stand to address the water scarcity. The department and the municipality is currently addressing the planning issues and anticipates the conclusion to be before the end of October 2023. In the Hanke 990 project, which is a 34 million rand human settlement project, aimed at ensuring decent shelter to the people of Hanke through 990 housing units. The department appointed the municipality as the implementing agent for pre-planning and planning services, and the municipality is monitoring the construction of services, and the region will ensure the monitoring of the municipality is improved to ensure further non-performance is avoided, and concluding the installation of the services as planned. The Ocean View project, Jeffreys Bay, which is a multi-million rand housing project at the Jeffreys Bay in Kocha local municipality, which the committee visited, is one of the projects we are prioritizing in addressing its challenges to ensure the delivery to our people. Our supply chain management has already advertised and commenced with the implementation of a framework agreement of contractors, and there are processes in place to ensure proper screening of contractors and legal consequences to follow to all defaulting contractors. The department is anticipating the framework agreement of contractors to be finalized by middle of November 2023, and we want to ensure by the end of November we conclude all outstanding appointments. The department has appointed Ikucha for planning and construction of stop structures and services, and they will be concluding their appointment by the end of October 2023. Now, in the immediate, we are committed to making use of the informal settlement upgrading grant for security of tenure by appointing municipalities as implementing agencies and the department to directly appoint contractors to provide water and sanitation, internal roads, and other upgrading interventions. The department is currently rolling out an informal settlement upgrading project in Ndlambe local municipality, wherein we are providing ablution facilities, water and access roads while working towards a permanent solution. In the district, we are upgrading 77 informal settlements here in the Sarabatman. Honorable Acting Speaker, the department continues to change the landscape of the Eastern Cape through creating integrated, sustainable human settlements, serving the most vulnerable of our communities in realization of the strategic priorities of the Provincial Development Plan and the National Development Plan. As such, all available resources, be it human as well as financial, have been committed on the implementation of programs that will yield the greatest impact towards the attainment of NDP Vision 2030. And the department is increasing its effort in ensuring that the MTSF and the PMTSF targets are achieved. To strengthen our intergovernmental relations as a tool for integration and improved service delivery, the MEC-MMC Implementation Forum has been established and is a platform for the coordinated political and administrative interface between the two spheres of government, that of provincial and local, to also form and enable a shared understanding on critical matters pertaining to the transformation of the sector and the delivery of integrated human settlements in the province. Since the establishment of the MEC-MMC platform, we are now at the stage wherein we are able to quantify the progress we have achieved in terms of addressing the challenges and the bottlenecks in the sector. The platform is indeed yielding positive results, including in unblocking the historically blocked projects. We are using the partnerships with implementing agents to assess the work that was left at various stages of construction to accelerate the unblocking of the blocked project. Innovative and sustainable building technologies is another alternative option that the department is utilizing than brick and mortar to augment service delivery when implementing departmental programs. In the current financial year, the department has managed to construct 77 units using ISBT in 6 projects. In the projects, including projects in Ndlambe local municipality. Honorable Acting Speaker, we are taking steps to ensure to issues of rectification of completed houses. And these were the houses that our communities were talking to here. And as a department, we are adjusting the budget allocation from the national framework of 10% to 30% for us to move with speed on rectification. In relation to the asbestos, the National Department has approved more than 200 million for 17 projects in 3 provinces, including the Eastern Cape. Up to now, the department has rectified 8,380 houses in the Sarabatman districts. Honorable Acting Speaker, all our efforts are geared at ensuring that we are deliberate in directing development of human settlements within new cities, new economies. Like James Howard once said, human settlements are like living organisms. They must grow and they will change. But we can decide on the nature of that growth, on the quality and the character of it, and where it ought to go. Thank you, Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. I put the report of the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlements.
Agreed.
Any objections?
None. Never.
We will now come to the debate of the report of the Portfolio Committee on Education by honorable members. The first speaker is from DA, Honorable Hendricks.
Thank you, Honourable Acting Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Acting Premier, members of this House and officials and our honoured guests. Allow me to extend my warmest greetings to all of you and formally acknowledge your presence. May I just say, Honourable Speaker, if there's anyone with a brittle spirit, you should close your ears now. Agbare spreker, vandag wil ek baie eerlik wees, sodat die wat ore het kan hoor. En ek wil in my openingsrede sê, in my taal, in die taal wat ek in droom, en die taal wat die Springbokke gaan praat Saterdag, voor hulle die beker huis toe bring. Hierdie Oos-Kaapse Departement van Onderwys is in sy moer. Die Oos-Kaap, and this is no joke, Honourable Speaker, because I've seen this, I've experienced this over the last 3 months. From Nomkolokoto in rural Mount Frere, where I found primary learners on their knees in front of their little blue chairs, sitting like that the whole damn day, using their chairs as desks and their jerseys as little coverings for their knees instead of protecting themselves from the cold. I saw a school where learners go to toilet in twos. The one has to use the toilet, the other one has to stand spread eagle as a door. In Zwellingaba Secondary School, in Mbashi, I've seen grade 4, 5, 6, 7 learners in one community hall without any partitions. Half of their school was left in ruins because of a storm in March already. The teaching learning environment, Speaker, is hectic. There's nothing happening there. On the outskirts of Imonti, I found Kala. Thank you, my freedom fighter, for trying to help me to pronounce that. That was destroyed in a storm, and the community members have given up their homes as classrooms for their children. The learners are cramped in rondavels. The department has done nothing to date. In Johnsonville, as my portfolio chair has indicated this morning, I found a school with a hostel, and what I saw nearly drove me to tears. Hulle omstandighede was haglik. But let me give you an honest overview from my own perspective of the current status of our education department. The ANC would love to tell you a good story. I'm going to give you the real story. Like Bongi Umbanambi said in Afrikaans, you know, ga jou die ander kant van die story vertel. Honourable Speaker, learners are paying the price for unfilled teacher vacancies. Based on the figures that we received in July and August from our MEC, 1,794 teaching posts are still vacant in the Eastern Cape. These numbers make up vacant posts of principals, deputy principals, HODs, and post-level 1 teachers. Last week, I found a school in Joburtina where 2 teachers have been absent on sick leave since 2017. Chairperson, that is 6 years ago, and the department has still not resolved that issue. No one else can get appointed there while the teachers lie at home. A learner without a teacher in front of him, Honorable Speaker, is like a small boat on a vast ocean, without a rudder, without a sail, left to float aimlessly into an unknown future.
Just
Speaker.
like in Human Stop High.
Honorable Speaker, Scholar Transport is not doing any better. The Eastern Cape Scholar Transport Program on the Department of Transport is out of money, at least on paper. Hoe diensverskafferaars huidiglik betaal word vir die Here alleen. Now, if you take into account that the DA exposed our Honorable MEC, that sounded like a blatant lie when he indicated that the Department of Transport will pay for 67,000 learners in his policy speech during March.
Sorry, Honorable Hendricks. Honorable Deputy Chief Whip of the Majority Party, your hand is up.
Dankie, just want to check in Rule 80, subsection 2. If the member, Honorable Deputy Chair of Committees, can share which municipality was he a mayor of?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Do you want me to answer that question? I was well known to govern the only DA municipality in the Eastern Cape, Koga. And we still do. Thank you, Honorable Fischler.
And what happened?
The Eastern Cape, the Honorable
Sorry, Honorable Member. In fact, let me refer to all honorable members who are still going to debate in this House, including yourself, Honorable Hendricks, that in terms of Rule 92, subsection 1, member may not use unparliamentary or offensive or unbecoming language. I just want to remind this House that yesterday the House had cautioned honorable MPLs on the use of slang languages that could be not accepted because of cultural differences and can be treated as an offensive language. So again, I must caution and remind honorable MPLs to refrain from using slang languages during parliamentary debates. Please, I'm just appealing to you. Continue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Your comment is noted, and I would put it to record that my mother tongue of Afrikaans is not slang. It's my language. Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Hendricks. Honorable Hendricks.
Yes, Speaker.
I said I am cautioning all honorable members, including yourself, in respect of Rule 92, subsection 1. You are not exempted from these rules of this House. You are not above the Constitution of this country that gives us the legal powers to form these rules as the Eastern Cape Legislature. So please respect the rules and respect the different interpretation of slang's name. Thank you. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I would like to note for record that the Constitution gives me my right to speak in my language, and that right will not be undermined by yourself. By the MEC's own account, the budget of 103,000 learners was not enough for the financial year. In fact, The budget should have been depleted by the end of August. Net gister, agbare spreker, het ons informasie gekry van 'n spooktaxi of spooktaxis in die Oos-Kaap. Ghost service providers masking around as legitimate scholar transport service providers, further looting a budget that is already significantly short for the full financial year. We are currently investigating that matter. Where is the money coming from, Honourable Speaker? Is the MEC stealing from
Honourable
Peter
Hendricks.
to give to Paul?
Honorable Saziwa. Okay.
Honorable Acting Speaker, I'm rising in terms of Rule 83, sub-rules 1 to 2, which reads as follows, because I know one member wanted to read. Sub-rule 83.1, when the presiding officer speaks during a debate, a member then speaking or intending to speak at the podium must stop speaking. The presiding officer must be heard without interruption. 2, when the presiding officer speaks during a debate, a member then speaking or intending to speak from the members' movement must sit down. The presiding officer must be heard without interruption. Now, precedence of the presiding officer that when the presiding officer has ruled and the member is not satisfied, that member has the right to write back, not to respond on the podium.
Can I start again, Honourable Speaker? Ek wag. My time is my time.
Mr. Hendricks,
As I wait.
can you behave? Sit down.
And the scroll.
Honorable Hendricks, let me refer to you. Can you stand up? Let me refer to you to Rule 97, Sub-Rule 1, 3 and 4. You know, honorable members, order. We mustn't try here to impress the public in the gallery, because these rules doesn't apply to them. That we must take into consideration. A ruling by the presiding officer on a point of order closes the matter and is not open for debate. And you continue debating my ruling.
On what point of order, Speaker?
A member not satisfied with the ruling of presiding officer may make a written representation to the presiding officer for reconsideration of the ruling. So the ruling that was made yesterday, that I'm reminding this House about that ruling, because this ruling is still relevant even today, as you used the name Moore. So if you are not satisfied with my ruling, you must submit your written presentation that you are not satisfied with my ruling. As I said to you, you are not above these rules, and you need to respect these rules, as all honorable members here are expected to respect these rules, including myself as the presiding officer, including yourself as the honorable member. So if you are not satisfied, you must submit your written presentation. So don't argue with my ruling. Just submit your submission that you are not satisfied, and then we are going to follow the necessary procedures to attend to your dissatisfaction. Thank you. Proceed with your presentation.
Thank you, Honorable Acting Speaker. I withdraw the word more.
Thank you.
Where is the money coming from, Honorable MEC? Are you stealing from Peter to give to Paul to keep the wheels of scholar transport turning? Are the service providers actually getting paid, of werk hulle op EPRO? Can our learners go on holiday this year, knowing that when they return next year, they will be not left stranded, like colored people have been left stranded and marginalized by the ANC since 1994? Honorable Acting Speaker, I received pictures this morning of learners in Humansdorp Secondary School living in the areas of Sea Vista and Oyster Bay, standing next to the road with placards begging to be transported to school. Protesting, Honorable Acting Speaker, reminding me of the class of 1976, when learners took to the street to protest against an apartheid government for their rights to education in their mother tongue. Today, almost 30 years into democracy, learners are not protesting against an apartheid government. They are protesting against an ANC government who claim to be their liberators. Chair, I don't even want to speak on school infrastructure. Our schools does not reflect the pride that we currently feel in our national rugby team. Let me just refer to the almost 200 schools in the Eastern Cape still using pit latrines. All of our province, as contained in a damning report by the Public Protector last week. Speaker, should I even mention the names of Langalam Vicky, the 4-year-old who fell in a pit latrine in Vaalbank and died not so long ago? Should I mention the name of Viwe Jali, a 5-year-old who fell in a pit latrine at Luna Primary School in 2018 in Bizana? Let our liberators from apartheid explain to those parents why. The right to human dignity is not a luxury right. It is enshrined in the Bill of Rights within our Constitution, and this right is absolute. It's not subject to change. It is not subject to the whims of the ANC. Honorable Speaker, it's time to rescue the Eastern Cape from the hands of the ANC. It is only the Democratic Alliance who has showed and demonstrated in the Western Cape a proven record of service delivery with good governance, where you can see what good governance looks like. You can see what it feels like. You can feel you can smell it. Honorable Speaker, I would implore the governing party of our beautiful province to consider changing lives instead of changing names.
Sorry, Honorable Hendricks.
Sit down.
Thank you, Honorable Hendricks. I would like to remind the members of the public that during our first session, the Honorable Speaker shared with you our rules that the honorable members of the public will only observe the proceedings as honorable members are debating. We understand that you are not used to go to our parliament and observe our proceedings. So can you please keep quiet when Honorable Hendricks is debating, even if he is saying something that makes you to be excited, keep quiet. Continue, Honorable Hendricks.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I am so impressed with the fact that I've been interrupted so many times. I would implore of our party, our governing party, in our beautiful province to consider changing lives and not changing names. Listen to our people. Leave the names in Graafrenet and Sunday's River alone. For once in your life, listen to the voice of our people. Rather do yourselves a favor and withdraw from the national election in 2024. I want to leave yourselves, your good selves, with a quote from a community leader this morning, Mr. Aris, who has given the education department clear marching orders when he said, and I quote, "You have to educate a child holistically in Afrikaans. Jy moet 'n kind onderrig in totaliteit. Listen or leave." Amen.
Honorable members of the public, I'm not going to remind you again. I'll just release you out of this chamber. If you don't behave and respect our rules, we'll release you. Honorable Zibula.
Thank you very much. You're here, right? Okay. Enkosi kakhulu, Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs. Greetings to you, the EFF leadership in the province and national, the members of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature, and the community. Firstly, Deputy Chair of Chairs, allow me to deal with something that is very sensitive. That's why I'm putting this preamble. The operations of the ANC Provincial Secretary is extremely questionable in this province. I'm raising this, Chair of Chairs, because what happens in Alata House spill over the provincial government. The instability, the factionalism, the purging of comrades who had different view in a conference is extremely wrong. What is wrong with having a different perspective when it's time of conferences? Why you Oscar Nongokai Toby conferences? People of the Eastern Cape want political leadership that shows stability. The instability at Alata House has been exposed in the recent list that the provincial secretary did in his farm with the colleagues and claimed to be the results of PGM. This is the list that has appeared even before the PGMs. ANC is pushing the hot-headed people that lack quality and content. People that fail to manage small municipalities are now going to be at the legislature and may end up being MECs of this province. Even this well-celebrated removal of the HODs.
Sorry, Honorable Zibula. Can you take your seat? Honorable Timaza.
Honorable, thank you. Honorable Deputy, Honorable Acting Speaker, I'm standing on a rule of a person who cannot defend himself or herself. That if a person cannot defend himself or herself, there is nothing that one can raise because the secretary of the ANC is not here to defend himself. So it is wrong to quote the name of a person who cannot come and defend himself. That's not correct.
Honorable Zibula, you may proceed, but I'll come back to this matter.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs. I sent you, don't worry. Even the well-celebrated removal of HODs in some...
No. Honorable Zibula, don't undermine my ruling.
Okay.
I'm saying I'll come back to this matter because this is a very serious matter. You've mentioned the name of a person and all what you've said is recorded here.
Thank you, Chair, Deputy Chair of Chairs. Even the well-celebrated removal of HODs in some departments leave others with general excuse of non-filling of vacant posts, which is the standard in all departments in the Eastern Cape. Which department fill up all vacant posts? Which department implement consequence management? Who is going to suffer as a result of this instability? The people of the Eastern Cape. The people of the Eastern Cape must reject this ANC government that they desperately need the FF government, which does not purge people because of a different viewpoint in conference. Most challenges in the Department of Education are due to those tenders that are centralized. We've been calling for a long time that the quality of stationery that is provided to our school is low quality. This is a repetitive finding that we get as this Committee of Education in any visit by the committee. There is nothing that is being done by the department to sort this. Why? Who is benefiting from this tender? Kudala zikhala izikolo ngale quality stationery, but akwenziwa nix kulo hulumende. The city must be decentralized, but uhulumende akenziwa ngayo. Yiminyaka in-non-teaching staff ingaqeshwa apha Eastern Cape. Schools are valuable assets that have immovable and movable proper assets. Even schools that are being opened by the MEC recently cost millions of rands and are left without security. Is there logic in that the department does not employ security to secure the same infrastructure that is worth millions of rands? The department will rather lose computers and tablets that are expensive to replace than employing the security. The call for Sarah Batman to have agriculture being offered in all schools as a subject has been done long time ago, yet no movement on this. Sarah Batman is an area where it is dominated by farms. We even have wind farms that are all over Sarah Batman. The acting MEC, I understand the acting MEC because you're an actor. When she's saying we don't rationalize schools where there is no scholar transport. Indeed, Sarah Batman is rationalized. For your information, acting MEC, I would understand that because you're acting, you can easily be misled. There are 2 farm schools that were closed at Cookhouse. When NS had teachers that were moved to Cookhouse Primary School, yet there was no transport provided. The same happened in Tsitsikam until parents closed the school due to lack of transport. The challenge of scholar transport is one of the cries in this region, as the number of learners that need transportation are much higher than the beneficiaries that are transported. Maths versus maths lit. It's surprising that it's educators that are encouraging this bad habit of encouraging learners to take maths lit instead of pure maths, and they fail it. People of Sarah Batman need quality education, healthcare, housing and sanitation. Under EFF government, education will be free to undergraduate level, and all pupils and students will be provided with adequate learning and teaching support and material. Under EFF government, the alignment of skills to industrial sectors should be done in a manner similar to the approach adopted by the developed communities, but in a more focused and properly resourced model that will necessarily include establishment of focused universities. South Africa should establish resource sector funded institution of higher learning. EFF will ensure that Sarah Batman has agricultural schools, not school. EFF will make agriculture to be a standard subject in all schools in Sarah Batman. EFF government will ensure that all vacant posts are filled. EFF just needs 5 years to reverse the 30 years of inefficiency of the ANC. While the ANC is today building schools and houses in asbestos and then turn back and blame apartheid government. EFF's last hope for people of Sarah Batman, vote EFF, EFF leads. Thank you very much, Deputy Sir.
Wawumkhuphela ntoni uJuba serumini yakhe?
Honorable Becker, 3 minutes.
Honorable Acting Speaker, thank you. Greetings to you and to the House, all protocols observed. Acting Speaker, I've been involved in the PC for education, having visited a number of schools in the Sarah Baartman district over the past few months. Under the leadership of Honorable Sasiwa, numerous issues were raised as presented by the committee this morning. Acting Speaker, I have observed something that I think deserves our attention. When we talk about education, in some cases, up to 6 different departments are involved, and this creates an opportunity for things to fall through the cracks. Please bear with me. The Department of Education functions on the property of Public Works. The Department of Transport is responsible for the scholar transport. When there are social issues like gangsterism, then the Department of Social Development becomes involved. If the gangsterism turns violent, then the Department of Community Safety becomes involved. If we include teenage pregnancies in all of this, then the Department of Health becomes involved. My plea is that we make sure that the interdepartmental cooperation is to such a level, to such a standard, that things won't fall through the cracks. Simple, just that. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Becker. Honorable Ndaben, your 18 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Acting Speaker. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to Honorable Speaker of the House, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Chief Whip of the African National Congress and the Chief Whip of the House, the Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable members of the Executive, the Acting Premier, Honorable Mvogo, Siyabulisa Ndebe, Honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, distinguished guests, Honorable Troikas from the different municipalities of Sarah Batman, our esteemed traditional leadership and religious leaders, HODs and top management from various departments, government departments, and the municipalities under Sarah Batman district, community stakeholders, nabahlali bonke base Sarah Batman siyabulisa. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, let me, Honorable Acting Speaker, thank the African National Congress, my political home, for allowing me to be part of this important debate about the topic on education, which is the knowledge acquisition and the knowledge production in society. Honorable Acting Speaker, in 2 days to come, South Africa, Africa, and the whole world will be commemorating the 106th anniversary of the life and times of one of our struggle heroes, President Oliver Reginald Tambo, the longest served President General of the African National Congress, the son of the soul, unyana katatu mzimeli nomama Julia. Honorable Acting Speaker, in his honor, President Oliver Reginald Tambo, as the African National Congress will continue to pledge our solidarity to the people, the oppressed people of Palestine, as they are going through the unprecedented genocidal attack by the apartheid state of Israel. Oliver Reginald Tambo, in his teachings, Honorable Acting Speaker, one of the teachings that he made to us as revolutionaries, young revolutionaries, was to teach us about the counter-revolution and the tendencies of the counter-revolution. We have seen the tendencies of the counter-revolution displaying itself in this house. In the context of the South African politics, the counter-revolutionary tendencies and reactionary forces is represented by the DA. Oliver Reginald Tambo taught us that the character of a counter-revolutionary will be characterized by representing the oppressed class, will represent the oppressors, the bourgeoisie. They are called, they are political demagogues who takes a public platform, misrepresent the people, misinform, claim easy victories, purport to be the true representatives of the people, yet they are not. That's Oliver Reginald Tambo. So that's a character of a counter-revolutionary force in South Africa. Now, Honorable Acting Speaker, in entering the contextualization of the debate.
Sorry, Honorable Ndabeni, Honorable Zibula.
Makashale phansi. Uhlale phansi tayo Ndabe. Yes. Based on the same ruling that was said that if a person is not here, you can't mention his name. Oliver Tambo is not here.
No.
Must not mention
No. Honorable Zibula. Don't waste our time here. I said I'm coming back to that issue. I'm still coming back. No.
Sawuthetha laa nto ke thina.
Thank you very much, Honorable Acting Speaker. Oliver Reginald Tambo told us that that counter-revolutionary force is anti-progress. They represent a racial domination and super-class exploitation. That class is represented in the context of South African politics by DA. In the political context of the report, Honorable Acting Speaker, Sarah Badman has got 226 public schools with 102 learners attending public schools in the district of Sarah Badman.
Sorry, Honorable Hendricks, your hand is up.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. The honorable member is only looking at me when he speaks of apartheid.
Rule, please. Rule, please.
You are protected. You are protected. Proceed, Honorable.
Let me focus on the debate, Honorable Speaker, because I may lose time. Over the last 3 years, Honorable Acting Speaker, the ANC-led government has invested over 406 million in programs of replacing the old schools that were built by the apartheid spatial development, which were under or wrongly constructed. The ANC is dealing with that apartheid legacy. That includes Sarah Badman as a district. Honorable Acting Speaker, the schools in the context of Sarah Badman who are going through a program of replacement, they include Camp de Boer Primary School, where an amount of 51 million has been set aside for the replacement of that school. They include a school at Henry Kanisa, combined school. An amount of 54 million has been injected to this project, and that project will be commencing very soon. Honorable Acting Speaker, the ANC government, through the Department of Education, will invest about 125 million rands on the building of classrooms for the grade R learners in Sarah Badman municipality and other areas of the province. The program has already started, Honorable Acting Speaker. That includes the Velem Junior Secondary School, the Graf Reinet Primary School, the Cronsville Primary School, and many other schools in the district of Sarah Badman. Now, in this context, Honorable Acting Speaker, we're dealing with a myth that has been explained here that over the last years the ANC has not done anything. We're talking about facts, schools that have been constructed, money that has been injected by the ANC government to change the lives of the people of Sarah Badman. On fencing, Honorable Acting Speaker, the ANC-led government has injected over 32 million rands on fencing of public ordinary school in this district of Sarah Badman. That includes, again, the Graf Reinet Primary School, which will be fenced at 1.6 million. That is a state-of-the-art fencing in that primary school. Isibane Primary School, that project has been completed with a value of 1.3 million. That is the African National Congress investing in Sarah Badman district. Over the last 5 years from 2019, the ANC government in the province of the Eastern Cape has built and completed over 28 new schools in the province. But to zoom closer to Sarah Badman, Honorable Acting Speaker, the schools that have been constructed, that will be constructed in the context of the Sarah Badman district, that include the Cookhouse Primary School that Honorable Chair of the committee will be opening on Friday, this coming Friday. That school was built by the African National Congress, government is completed, it will be handed over this coming Friday. So as we speak truth, we speak facts when we debate on these issues. That school has been completed with a value of 68 million rands that has been invested in that particular project. Honorable Acting Speaker, again, an amount of 81 million rands has been invested in Asherville Senior Secondary School. That school, Honorable Acting Speaker, when it is completed, that project, we'll see nine new classrooms, 22 refurbishment classrooms, backup water reservoir, admin block, science lab, nutrition center. That will be the state-of-the-art school, and that project will be handed over in January 2024. Again, Honorable Acting Speaker, another school in Sarah Badman, Lincoln Primary School. There is a construction as we speak in that school. It's here and a half rented being completed at the value of 83 million rands that has been invested.
Honorable members, I see your hands. I see your hands. You must wait for me to recognize your hands. Just wait for me.
Lincoln Primary School is here in Grafrenet, and that school has been injected with 83 million rands. Again, Honorable Acting Speaker, when the school is completed in January, we'll see 17 new classrooms being built and 3 new classrooms for grade R being built, 2 labs, computer lab and computer rooms, and the library, new admin block, the nutrition center, and that is expected to be handed over in January 2024. We're not talking about things in the skies, we're talking about changing the lives of the people practically as the African National Congress.
Point of order.
Again, Honorable Acting Speaker, on nutrition, the ANC-led government, realizing the poverty in our communities, has introduced a school nutrition program through a national
Honorable
school
Speaker.
program. To this end.
Honorable Speaker. No, I am not being recognized. It's now been almost 10 minutes.
Do you miss going back
Honorable
to the
members, Honorable Hendricks and Honorable Zibula, I said I'm going to recognize you. You don't just talk and shout. Wait for me to recognize your hand. I'm going to treat you equally here. Don't panic. I'm trying to address the issue of Africans so that even the members in the gallery can understand what I said, because it's written in English. So it's not that I'm not attending to the issue. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Acting Speaker. On this school nutrition program, 1.6 learners of the province of the Eastern Cape are currently benefiting. From quintile 1 to 3 of 4,883 schools in the province, they are currently benefiting on the school nutrition. That program, additional to that, the ANC-led government has introduced over and above the school nutrition another meal,
sorry,
the breakfast.
Honorable Ndabeni, members in the gallery, I'm still calling one of our support staff, Ms. Armans, to come and translate in Afrikaans.
I can help, Speaker.
No. We are having our own support staff here. You are not our officials. You are a member of a provincial legislature.
You can tell by he missed induction.
So should I continue, Honorable Acting Speaker?
Continue. So I'm still waiting for her so that you can be on the same par with other members in the gallery as to what is expected from you. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Acting Speaker. On the breakfast meal that has been introduced by the ANC-led government, over 300,000 learners are currently benefiting in all our quintile 1 to 3 schools in the province of the Eastern Cape. That includes the nutrition program in the schools under Sarah Badman District Municipality. Over and above that, Honorable Acting Speaker, the program itself has created over 12,000 job opportunities. Communities are employed as meal servers. They prepare the meal for the learners and they're working full-time, and that program has created 12,000 job opportunities. On school safety, Honorable Acting Speaker, something that has been raised.
Sorry, Honorable Ndabeni. Just have a seat. Ms. Armans is here. She's going to assist so that our respected members of the public can understand what is expected from them now that this session is different from the first one, where they were participating and allowed to express their views. Over to you, Ms. Armans.
Thank you, Deputy Chair of Chairs. Good afternoon, honorable members. Okay. Goedemiddag aan allemaal. Ek is net gevra om seker te maak dat ek vir die mense in die publiek sê dat ons is nie veronderstel om te klap nie, ons is nie veronderstel om te praat nie, ons is veronderstel om te luister, want vanoggend het ons beurt gehad om deel uit te maak van die verrigtinge en daarvoor gaan ons nie vanmiddag ook 'n kans kry om dit te doen nie. Ek hoop u verstaan en so word dit gevra dat u asseblief net moet luister na die verrigtinge en niks anders doen nie. Baie dankie.
Thank you, Ms. Armans. Proceed, Honorable Ndabeni.
Thank you very much, Honorable Acting Speaker. Maskasi sithi qhwile point nje in 1 minute. This point of name changes. I think it has constituted part of the debate. We must make it clear as the African National Congress that any name representing apartheid colonialism that does not resonate with the people of South Africa, whether it's a town, a city, a structure, or anything of that sort, will be changed. Will be changed. Whether it's Grafrenet, it will be changed to reflect the aspirations of the people of the area, not the colonizers, not the apartheid government system. It will represent the democracy and the people of the area. I felt we must deal with that issue. Now, on the school safety, Honorable Acting Speaker, the African National Congress has introduced a system in dealing with the school safety, or the safety in our schools, where each and every school in the province of the Eastern Cape is linked to a police station, and there's a police official attached to a particular school in the province. That is also, the African National Congress-led government has also introduced initiatives like junior commissioners, peace clubs, marches, drills, teenage against pregnancy, and all those programs. They are meant to make sure that they deal with the safety at our schools. Over and above that, Acting Speaker, the African National Congress has dealt with the issue of making sure that the Department of Education employs, through its program of the non-teaching staff, the security services in all our public schools across the province. That includes as well Sarah Badman as a district. On scholar transport, the ANC-led government, upon realizing the challenge of the distance that our learners are subjected to walk every day they are attending schools, the ANC-led government introduced a scholar transport policy, which as we speak now, more than 121,000 learners of the province are benefiting, with over 800 million, close to 1 billion, that has been injected in making sure that our learners are transported every day. They are getting meals every day, 2 meals at school. That is the African National Congress-led government, not any other political party that can do that. That includes schools in Sarah Badman. So as we speak, the ANC government is implementing that scholar transport program. Over and above that, through the Department of Transport, the African National Congress-led government has introduced a program called Shova Kalula program, where learners who are not benefiting from the scholar transport because of the 5-kilometer policy requirements, who walks 4 kilometers, who cannot benefit, they are given bicycles by the Department of Transport, at least to cycle themselves to school. That is part of encouraging the physical outlook of our learners. So as the African National Congress, in terms of the scholar transport, we're providing scholar transport to all 121,000 learners. Of course, Honorable Acting Speaker, that does not include all the learners because of the budget constraints. And we're saying as the African National Congress, in the future years, that particular budget must accommodate every deserving learner who must then be given an opportunity to be benefiting on the scholar transport. The African National Congress, again, Honorable Acting Speaker, has determined to restore the dignity of learners, where the African National Congress over the last 3 years through the accelerated infrastructure program called ACIDI, has constructed over 51,000 suitable toilets, both in the public and the private schools, in terms of the African National Congress delivery. More than 1,400 projects have been completed to this end. 809 projects have been finished. 194 projects on the sanitation project are underway. That is the African National Congress. Recently, the Department of Education has delivered a primary school, Eklasin Primary School and Kokama local municipality. That is the delivery of the African National Congress in terms of the ANC program. On school examination, I'm rushing myself, Honorable Acting Speaker. As the African National Congress, I want to take this opportunity to wish on behalf of the ANC, the candidates who will be writing the matric exams for 2023 academic year. Wish them all the best. They are starting to write on the 31st of October 2023. Last year, the Eastern Cape as a province achieved over 76% on matric exams. And we're saying to the department led by Honorable Gad Uzizudlamin, through you, Mamang, the acting MEC. As the Eastern Cape province, the African National Congress were not expecting anything less than 80% for 2023 academic year results on matric. So the last push that is being implemented by the Department of Education to make sure that our learners get the necessary support and the psychological and mental preparation for the examination as they are currently preparing for the final exams is supported. As the African National Congress, as I'm sitting down, Honorable Acting Speaker, the African National Congress support the report. In conclusion, I must quote the wise words of President Nelson Mandela addressing the South Africa after 27 years of incarceration. He said, and I quote, he said, education is an instrument in the hands of the poor and the people of South Africa, where a son and a daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, where a son and a daughter of a domestic worker can become a manager, where a son and a daughter of a mine migrant can become a mine boss, where a son and a daughter of a peasant can become a president of the country. That's President Mandela addressing South Africans after 27 years of incarceration in Robben Island by the apartheid government. So in those words of Nelson Mandela, the African National Congress, Honorable Acting Speaker, support the report presented by Honorable Saziwa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Ndabeni. Honorable members, there's still an outstanding point of order that was raised by Honorable Dimaza. Let me address it as follows. Section 25 of the Powers, Privileges, and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislature, Act 2004, provides for the protection of members of the public during parliamentary debates. This section provides that a member of the public who feels aggrieved by a statement or remarks made by a member of the legislature may submit a written request to the Secretary of the Legislature to have a response recorded. Honorable Zibula has voluntarily withdrawn the remark, but that does not preclude the member of the public from exercising his or her rights in terms of Section 25. That's the ruling of the matter. That means, therefore, The final arbiter of this issue will be the affected member of a public. Over to you, Honorable Meth.
Thank you very much, Honorable Acting Speaker. Please. You called me when I was still busy trying just to add up how much the government of the people, for the people, by the people have spent since 2019 to date just on building of state-of-the-art schools, in particular for those who were neglected historically. And I'm pleading with Honorable Hendricks not to take us back to apartheid, where there was discrimination, division along race. As this government of the African National Congress, we are for unity. So we can't come here and single out a particular race and say this government does not deliver to. That's a very wrong statement, in particular when it comes from an honorable member. I've just calculated that for Africans all, since 2019 to date, we spent more than 1.2 billion rand building schools as this government of the African National Congress. In Sarabatman, more than 236 million rand has been spent, excluding the schools that we shall be opening, introducing contractors to build. Nelson Mandela, 470 million rand. Chris Hani, about 1 billion rand. The others I was still adding because there's a lot of work that the African National Congress has done in ensuring that the priority, which is education, talks to what the people of the Eastern Cape and the people of South Africa need the most: decent classrooms and decent infrastructure. I'm greeting you, Honorable Acting Speaker, and the honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests. I was also a bit embarrassed when I listened to my former colleague, because I used to be a mayor of a municipality, to stand here as a former mayor of a city, instead of boasting about the work that you did for your people, being sent by your own organization, you come and invite people of the Eastern Cape to go to the Western Cape so that they can be referred to as migrants. I'm very disappointed at my honorable former mayor, the honorable member of the DA. Thank you very much for the privilege and opportunity to contribute to this debate on the important oversight work that this august House has undertaken under the most difficult and challenging circumstances as our citizens continue to be confronted with the triple challenges of poverty, inequality, and unemployment. The work of this honorable House in supporting the work of basic education underlines the fact that indeed education is a societal matter and is indeed the apex priority of the African National Congress government. Our country, and by extension our democracy and our province, has in the past year continued to be tested by a variety of socio-economic challenges, inclusive of resources constraints facing the state as a whole. Notwithstanding the many challenges that we face as a province, we continue to work closely with our stakeholders who have contributed immensely in ensuring that basic education remains a system on the rise. We are a system on the rise, though it is important for us to also agree that making progress in the basic education sector requires a continuous focus on our long-term policy aims and objectives, while we also deal with challenges and issues as they arise. For an example, in the last 15 years, we have increased the number of learners passing the National School Certificate from 50% in 2008 to 77% in 2022. During the same period, we have more than doubled the percentage of learners who became eligible to pursue their studies at the universities from 14.5% to 36.8%. While the grade 12 pass rate has been widely discussed and praised, the overall pass rate in lower grades has also been consistently performing above 80% for the last 3 years. In 2020, the pass rates for grades 1 to 9 stood at 82%, and it improved to 91.7% in 2021, and it was 92.3% in 2022. And already, data shows it will further improve this year. As His Excellency President of the Republic of South Africa, President Ramaphosa, in this term of government has reinforced the importance of improving learning foundation. Honorable members, allow me to quote from the President's SONA directives. I quote, "The most significant contribution we can make to inclusive economic growth is in the development of appropriate skills and capabilities. The investments we make now in early childhood development and early school learning will yield great economic benefits in the next 2 decades and beyond," close quote. Honorable Acting Speaker, the work of the department will be centered on improving and ensuring each and every learner in our education system is provided with strong learning foundation that will enable them to be fully empowered citizens, break the cycle of poverty, and thrive in our ever-changing world. Indeed, as clearly outlined in our PDP 2030 and by our Honorable Premier Oscar Mabeane in his SOPA, our vision is that of an enterprising province where people are active in their own and the region's social and economic development, where people take the initiative to develop their communities based on existing and potential resources and capabilities. We've made much progress in giving our children access to schooling and ensuring that more children go on to complete matric and enter post-schooling opportunities. According to the latest census survey, the percentage of individuals in the age group 7 to 15 who attended school in the Eastern Cape is virtually universal. Our grade 12 completion rates are on the increase. We have 4 days to go before our learners begin their final examinations. The department will administer examinations in 1,084 centers, and it's all systems go. All officials that will be involved in the administration of examinations have been trained by both the Department of Education and its districts. Chief invigilators have been trained to ensure that the 2023 NSC examination is credible and error-free. The department shall focus on a number of areas, including accurate registration of centers and learners, high-quality question papers and of the appropriate standard, to secure the movement of question papers from origination of the examination venue and the detection and management of any irregularities. The province is ready for the seamless administration of examinations and ensuring fair and equitable opportunities for all learners that are registered for the public examinations. Madam Acting Speaker, allow me to highlight a few points deliberated on in our engagement with honorable members in the school visits and some issues they raised. The school's funding, the department is funding learners as per the gazetted norm. Each learner, as per the said gazette, is funded in the following manner. Quintiles 1 to 3 schools, 1,602 rand per learner. Quintile 4 schools, 803 rand per learner. Quintile 5 schools, 278 rand per learner. Schools are encouraged to submit their audited financial statement to facilitate timeous transfers of trenches. This also assists the department in minimizing audit findings. On grade R, the department acknowledges that the non-inclusion of grade R in the PPN affects the operations of schools. However, for effective teaching and learning of learners, the department, through early childhood development program funding, provides grade R teachers that are stipendiary to the deserving learners. On rationalization, on the issue of rationalization and realignment of schools, the Sarah Baartman Education District is also affected by a proliferation of small and unviable schools, which are candidates to either closure or realignment. However, the department does not willy-nilly close such schools, but instead consults with the communities and does what is possible and effective to ensure that all learners have access to schools. Even in the worst scenario case of an unviable school, the department prioritizes learners' access to education. It is for that reason that the department does not rationalize a school where there is no scholar transport. Regarding the provisioning of scholar transport, the need is more than the budget appropriated, and also its reliability is below 100%. This is where sometimes transport service providers fail to ferry learners to the schools on time. Therefore, the department is exploring the use of built hostels where it is possible in place of the scholar transport. The department has delegated functions to district directors to employ all teachers in vacant and substantive posts for post level 1 to post level 4 school principal. This is to expedite the issue of employment so that learners are taught every day. Secondly, delegations are a way of bringing services closer to the people in line with the philosophy and policies of the ANC government. We have averted that by allowing the school to bring to the office such vacancies where there are unemployed educators available for employment. The district director appoints immediately. This is called walk-ins approach, where these suitable unemployed teachers are employed immediately without even being interviewed, as long as they qualify. We have issued an instruction in June this year that even resigned educators can be employed in the case of scarce skill subjects. This area is now on the payment of acting allowance for educators. This area now is regularized in that educators in acting capacity are formally employed and paid for the period of acting. District directors are central on this matter, and any educator that acted on a higher post and is not remunerated is invited to contact the district office for his or her case to be listened to. On employment of support staff at schools and hostels, through the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative, the department is providing employment opportunities to unemployed youth as general assistants and education assistants on a contract basis. Contracts are phased out to expand the reach to more citizens. Additionally, the department has issued out a bulletin on the 6th of September 2023 for permanent employment of support staff to hostels. Schools have conducted interviews and are now in the process of issuing permanent appointment letters. Advocacy programs continue, though one cannot negate the fact that parents have liberty to take their children to schools of their choice. Sarah Batman is not immune from this challenge. Access to schools through transformation policies at our disposal, the department has realized admission of learners to all schools in a non-racial democratic approach. Schools like Cookhouse PS is one such good example. On infrastructure, Acting Speaker, replacement of schools, the design and construction of Arrowville PS is allocated to Kucha Development Corporation for implementation in the current MTF period. The repairs to hostels at War School, Janssenvale, and Spandau's SS have been assessed, and construction will take place in 2024. On abandoned projects, the ECD centers in Makanda will go out on tender in January 2024. The contractor at ADO PS has been appointed and construction has been allowed to commence. Projects at Lincoln PS and Ashaville SS will be completed in January 2024. On sanitation, Presidential Sanitation Appropriate for Education, SAFE, is targeting schools in the district. 38 schools with flush toilets are part of a program to repair all toilets to rid the municipalities of the loss of water. These schools have been assessed and will go on tender by end 2023. Additional classrooms at William Oates, Sandy Sulwa's Somerset Gift, and other schools, mobile classrooms have been provided recently, while site handovers are continuing in numerous areas. Fencing of schools, 15 schools have received fencing in this district during 2023. In 2024, another 20 schools have been identified to benefit from this very critical program. Learners with moderate to severe learning barriers, these learners with moderate learning barriers are encouraged to attend full service schools, namely Msobomvu PS and Aberdeen FSSS. For those with severe learning barriers, they are sent to Grahamstown Special School. On sexual and drug abuse in schools, report of antisocial behavioral patterns in schools are deplorable, and however, the education social support deals with such matters upon being reported. SGPs and school management teams are trained on how to handle such sensitive matters. This emphasizes the crucial role of societal involvement in education. Let us ensure that our quality learning and teaching campaign continues and it is fully functional, from the school level to district and provincial level. Let us also continue to emphasize the importance of working together, and community members are encouraged to take ownership of the schools in their vicinity. With regards to furniture, the department is delivering furniture to schools in Sarabatman. The total allocation for district is 3,467 units. The first consignment of 1,213 units have been delivered. We are hoping that schools identified by the committee will be prioritized. In terms of readiness for 2024 academic year, the department has finalized LTSM deliveries to 169 schools. Final deliveries planned to be completed by 30th November. In conclusion, Acting Speaker and honorable members, EC Basic Education is operating under very difficult circumstances that require commitment, dedication, sacrifice, and selflessness. My appreciation and thanks to all the learners, learner organizations, teachers, teacher unions, principals, parents, learners, SGPs, SGP associations, individuals, and all our social partners. We commit that other information shall be submitted to you, Honorable Acting Speaker, in the time that the committee has advised. I thank you, Honorable Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Acting MEC. I put the report of the Portfolio Committee on Education.
Agreed.
Any objections?
None. Never.
We will now come to the debate of the report of the Portfolio Committee on Rural Development and Agrarian Reform by honorable members. The first speaker is Honorable Zibonda, representing the DA.
Thank you, Honorable Acting Speaker. And mantathe lithuba nam ndibonge bethunana. Inywebe ndinikwe yi-DA ubana uba ndidebate kule topic ndibonge ithuba nam. Honorable Acting Speaker, members of the executive as led by the Acting Premier, Hollywood namhlanje, members of the legislature, traditional leaders, religious leaders, councillors of various municipalities in Sarah Bartman, members of the public, I take this opportunity to greet you all. The agricultural sector stimulates economic growth and plays a major role in creating sustainable job opportunities. It is also among the main economic sectors in the Sarah Bartman, with commodities such as mohair and citrus. A lot of families depend on this sector for job creation and the country as a whole for food production and food security. It is therefore imperative that government prioritizes interventions to enhance and grow this sector and budget to facilitate the critical role that the agricultural sector plays to drive the economy and create jobs in the districts. South Africa is the biggest global producer of mohair, producing approximately 51% of the world's mohair. Sarah Bartman is among the best in the world when it comes to production of mohair. I would like to call on Dr. Da to continuously engage DALRAT to release the farms that are in their hands to farmers. It was reported that the process to allocate farms takes long, and there are farmers who have applied and are waiting for responses. The farms are lying unused when there are people who struggle with their animals in communities and backyards. Release farms to the people so that they can improve their lives. Why are people not given farms? Why is the government dragging its feet on allocation of farms to the people? We call on the MEC to engage DALRAT to fast-track the processes. It seems the ANC government is enjoying the fact that farmers are tenants of government, not not having title deeds holds the emerging farmers back because they cannot get funds so they can to improve their properties and increase their production. Security of tenure is one of the pillars of economic development. It is clear that the government cannot sustain the recapitalization program, give farmers the title deeds so that they can access funding. Perversely, the same problem afflicts thousands of emerging farmers across the country who have benefited from the land reform schemes, where farms were purchased from commercial farmers by the state. This is indicative of a government that doesn't take land reform seriously. Instead of transferring land reform farms to beneficiaries, emerging farmers have been turned into tenants without the ability to leverage the land in order to raise capital or obtain private title. Turning land reform beneficiaries and the people living in communal areas into fully fledged landowners will constitute the single biggest step forward for sustainable land reform in South Africa. Let's bring land reform that makes people landowners, not lifelong tenants. On the issue of agricultural schools within the district, I would like to plead with the Department of Education to ensure that agriculture is offered even as a subject in schools before going for agricultural schools, so that learners can be introduced to agriculture and they can be accepted in higher education institutions to study agriculture. How can the Department of Education justify not offering agriculture in such a district? If we were to sustain economic growth in this district, we need proactive leadership. SGBs must be at the forefront of ensuring that this happens, as they are empowered by the South African Schools Act to determine the curriculum of their schools. It was cited as one of the challenges by the department during the visit that they are struggling to retain staff because they often get people from other areas. But from the inputs by the farmers in this session, there is a cry that the people from this area are not prioritized for employment by Dr. Da. This is a totally different story from what the committee was told. Could this be another case of jobs for pals, as can be expected from an ANC government? Can the MEC provide clarity on such issues? On stock theft, Acting Speaker, the DA has always called for specialized units of SAPS to be beefed up and to deal with specific issues. We call for more police officers in the stock theft unit. Rural policing needs to be prioritized to curb murders and stock theft. Crime on farmers is a war on food security and job creation. Our producers and agri-workers who enable our food security deserve to be acknowledged, appreciated, and protected. As long as our producers live in fear and their stock is stolen, the nation will suffer. For this reason, the DA, where we govern, has prioritized rural safety as a ministerial priority, and rural safety has been institutionalized and formally signed off and approved in August 2020. In this regard, the Department of Agriculture has taken the lead in the Interministerial Committee of Rural Safety, chaired by the Minister Mayor, and Technical Committee on Rural Safety, chaired by the DDG. Honorable Speaker, we call for proper management of commonages through collaboration with local municipality to ensure that farmers are given a conducive environment to farm successfully. At the end of the day, we need to graduate those farmers to commercial farmers in the future. And it starts now with practicing safe and clean agriculture. On access roads, Honorable Acting Speaker, the DA calls on local and provincial government to upgrade access and provincial roads that service farms. It becomes extremely difficult to transport goods when the conditions of the road are poor and remain unmaintained, and this affects demand. The World Bank study estimated that 15% of the agricultural produce is lost between the farm gate and the consumer because of poor roads, adversely influencing the income of farmers. Poor road infrastructure limits the ability of the traders to travel to and communicate with remote farming areas, limiting market access from these areas and eliminating competition for their produce. Easier access to markets allows expansion of perishable and transport cost-intensive products. International Funds for Agricultural Development observed that the construction of rural roads almost inevitably leads to increase in agricultural production and productivity by bringing in new land to cultivation, intensifying land use, and to take advantage of expanded market opportunities. Better roads also lower the transaction cost of credit services, resulting in increased lending to farmers, higher demand for agricultural inputs, and higher crop yields. The farming operations in these areas that we visited are lifeblood of these communities, and this government must act proactively to assist farmers in building their industries and grow our economy. The DA supports the report. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Zibonda. Honorable Zibula.
Honorable Speaker, Acting Speaker, let me greet everyone in the House. The department is one of the departments that is close to the heart of the economic freedom fighters. This committee of DAR, same as the Committee of Education and the public, called upon having agriculture as a standard subject in all schools from foundation to senior phase. It is also the call of EFF that there must be agricultural schools built for the people of Sarapadman. Who owns farms in Sarapadman? It's white farmers. How many black-owned farmers in this municipality? What contribution is the department doing to upgrade small-scale farmers to be commercial farmers? Black farmers complain about title deed. Black farmers are leasing farms. Why? They don't own farms, they are leasing them. The people are encouraged to do backyard farming, meaning there's no plan to get land for the people. EFF needs just 5 years to transfer the land to the people of Sarapadman. EFF has got 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars. I think, Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs, it's important that Mandikhabuli is saying cardinal pillars. The first one is an expropriation of land without compensation for equal redistribution. It means EFF is going to go to the white farmers and take land and give it to black people. That's a fact. Nationalization of mines, blacks, and other strategic sectors of the economy without compensation. Cardinal pillar number 3, building state and government capacity, which will lead to the abolishment of tenders, free, quality, and decolonized education, healthcare, and sanitation, massive protected industrial development to create millions of sustainable jobs, massive development of African economy, and advocating for a move towards a united Africa. The last one, which is cardinal pillar number 7, building state capacity to deliver quality housing and basic services. I want Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs to stick on the cardinal pillar number 1, which is relevant to the challenges of Sarapadman, because the South African government intended to redistribute 30% of the land by 2014, but in 2012, only 8% has been redistributed. The consequences of this landless of the majority is that blacks on farms remain slaves, denied the basic human rights that most people take for granted. Farm workers and labor tenants are overworked and underpaid, thanks to the laws made post-1994, which is ANC-made laws. Farm workers live in fear and insecurity because of the paternal relationship with the landowners, who are often racist and violent. Often farmers refuse burial rights to farm workers, with the consequences that our people are landless in life and landless when dead. Between 1994 and 2004, white farmers evicted more than 1 million farm workers from land. ANC PED. Evicted farm workers now populate the mushrooming squatter camps in the outskirts of townships. EFF approach on land expropriation without compensation is that all land should be transferred to the ownership and custodianship of the state in a similar way that all minerals and petroleum resources are transferred to the ownership and custodian of the state through the Mineral Act. The state should, through its legislative capacity, transfer all land to the state, which it will administer and use land to sustainable development purposes. This transfer should happen without compensation and should apply to all South Africans, black and whites. The white farmers, especially in the Sarapadman, will never again own a number of farms like they currently do under the EFF government. Once the state is in control and custodianship of all land, those who are currently using land or intended using land in the immediate will apply for land use licenses, which will be granted only when there's a purpose for the land being applied for. Those applying for license will be granted license by maximum of 25 years. Renewable on the basis that the land is being utilized as plans. If you drive around Sarabatman, you'll find a lot of land that is being owned by one person, lying there, nothing is being happening in that land. That is the land that should be expropriated and be given to a lot of people so that people could be able to use that land. The state custodianship of land will mean that those currently occupying land should apply for licensing to continue using the land and should clearly state in the application that they to use the land for over a period of time. Under the legislation, no one should allow to own land forever. Forever, because those who have money can, over time, buy huge plots of land and then use them for counter-developmental private purposes, such as using land for game farms. Asikhuthaza into umhlaba mawusetyenziswe for game farms. Umhlaba mawenza imali, mawenza ukutya. Mawenza ukutya umhlaba, i-game farm ayincedisi ekutheni elevate le nto i-ANC ekhala ngayo ukuthi khona ingxaki yokutya eSouth Africa. Food production, packaging, transportation, marketing, advertising, retail and trade should constitute one of South Africa's business economic sectors. With a growing global population and growing capacity of Africans to buy food, South Africa needs to produce agricultural output through provision of subsidies to small
3 minutes left.
Enkosi, Deputy Chair. A structured state support and agricultural production mechanism should be applied to all food products, including beef and other means. Production and processing. Apha ke South Africa currently, beef uyakwazi ithi osinazo inkomo apha i-ANC government yosifunela beef isuka ngaphandle. Ayikwazanga uba masifunele beef apha. Under EFF government, we will produce enough beef in South Africa because i-market ye-beef will be protected. As the economic markets, especially markets agriculture, akuzufika umuntu usenjena njengoba kusenzeka apha in the ANC government. With a clearly defined EFF needs just 5 years to make Sarabatman land transferred to black majority. EFF leads, just vote EFF.
Thank you, Honorable Zibula. Honorable Camelio Benjamin.
Waarnemende spreker, uitvoerende komiteelede en wetgeverlede, achtbare distrikburgemeester, achtbare De Vos, alle raadslede wat hier is, en u die publiek. As hierdie oppositiepartye nou vir julle wil sê, hulle wil vir julle, julle moet vir hulle stem, vrou, kom is hulle banke leeg, is niemand van hulle nie, hulle respecteer glad nie die feit dat ons parlement na die mense toe gebring het nie. So, ek wil hê julle moet dit registreer, deur hier te wees, was hulle veronderstel om hier te wees om julle almal te respekteer, maar is die een van hulle hier nie, net die een of twee wat oorgebly het om te praat, is dan nou hier, maar die rest van hulle wat sê hulle wil julle regeer, is dan nou nie hier nie. Nou verstaan ek het glad nie so mooi, hoekom is hulle nie hier nie, maar hulle sê julle moet vir hulle stem, maar nie eens hulle leiers is hier nie, is die een van hulle leiers hier nie, so hulle moet weer gaan oordink, hoe kan hulle vir die mense vra, dat die mense moet vir hulle stem, maar hulle is nie een van hulle hier nie. Al onze leiers van onze politieke partijen. It's an honor to be able to speak on behalf of the ANC and to be afforded to speak on Dr. Da. The African National Congress, in its 6th National Policy Conference, resolved that the accelerated land distribution is vital for transforming the apartheid spatial geography and to unlock employment, farming and agro-processing. Is juist deur die apartheid regering waar ons is, hulle vergeet, hulle het self ons land afgevat. Ek is groot, ek was in hy tyd en toe hulle vir my pa sê, my ma skei, toe ons 8 kinders. Nou weet ek nie hoe wil hulle nou sê, hulle wil vir ons land gee nie, maar hulle die land weggevat van ons af en ons geboortereg ook weggevat nie. It further resolved that farmers must be given the necessary support to attain water rights and be able to take produce to the market, including for export. That therefore means that there is a need to expand the export markets. Farming is not just a way of life for most South Africans, but a necessary means to put food on the table and support families. The continuous growth of the agricultural sector has ensured a positive contribution to food availability, employment, and economic growth. The ANC government will continue to support the agriculture sector by ensuring the underutilized land is brought into production and is made available to the communities and the historically disadvantaged individuals. The acceleration of farmer support production units are of a critical stepping stone to the revitalization of the rural economy as they provide necessary farming implements and mechanization in rural areas. The signing of the Agricultural and Agribusiness Master Plan as a positive social compact at sectoral level is highly commendable, as it will ensure that partners in the agriculture sector work together for the transformation and inclusive participation of all the agricultural sectors. The African National Congress remains resolute in its commitment to ensure equitable access to land, to reverse the apartheid spatial planning, and increase participation of the historically disadvantaged communities in the agricultural and other land-based industries. Dis presies wat ek voorheen gesê het, onze mense word nie herinner aan die feit dat hulle wel die land van onze mense af weggevat het. So, die ANC sal definitief seker maak dat onze gemeenskappe van die land terugkry, om seker te maak dat hulle voorbaat kry uit. It therefore becomes important that we accelerate the process of bringing underutilized land into production. In doing this, an important role can be played by the establishment of the new land reform and agricultural development agencies. Our ANC-led government needs to work harder in ensuring that it utilizes its agricultural services as the main economic drivers. En het is baie belangrik, want Sarah Baartman is gebaseer op die agri, en ons moet dit harder probeer in die area. Trade and investment bilateral relations should prioritize agricultural commodities that South Africa has comparative advantage and are also labor intensive. Given the demand in the EU for some of the agricultural commodities, South Africa should position itself as a gateway to this market and take full advantage of the opportunity. Soos nou al klaar met die rooi vleis en ook met die mawe gesê gewees het. Graaf-Reinet lies on the banks of the Sundays River inside the Kamdeboer National Park. On the inside the Kamdeboer National Park, it alone has 22 farms in the area, mostly privately owned. Graaf-Reinet, the oldest town in the Eastern Cape with a rich history and immense character, is an important mohair producing area in the Karoo. Angora goats thrive in the Karoo with its combination of hot, dry summers, cold winters, and semi-desert vegetation. Mohair is the fleece of the Angora goat, and it's one of the world's most beautiful sustainable natural fibers. South Africa is world-renowned for producing top-quality mohair. En ons het dit nou gesien toe ons die plase besoek, mense, die opkomende boere maak seker dat hulle daai produk so mooi skoon hou, dat hulle 'n baie groter wins kan maak op dit. In steede van dat hulle omtrent R300 kry, kry hulle omtrent R1000 per ton, om seker te maak dat hulle 'n beter kwaliteit kry. Dr. Da Portfolio Committee embarked on a pre-visit in Sarah Baartman district in preparation for taking Legislature to the people. The places that were visited are as follows: Wayside Farm, Groot Tafelkop Plaas, Elands Farm, Sonder Farm, Kariga Citrus, Cleveland Farm, Howard Grant Farm. What these farms shared in similarity was the fact that they were in dire need of equipment and water. Soos hulle hier terecht gesê het toe hulle vanoggend gepraat het. They also have no tenure on land or any other financial help. Dit het hulle ook vanoggend die gesê om seker te maak as hulle wil help, moet hulle tenure of land het op die plase. This becomes increasingly difficult for them to be able to secure lease agreements. Since the state of the farm access roads are poor, It therefore has a detrimental effect on timeliest delivery of goods to the market. So ons moet regtig kyk aan hoe ons hulle toegangspaaie 'n verskil kan maak dat hulle beter toegang kan hê tot die plase wanneer hulle wil uitvoering doen. There is also a lack of programs consolidation between Dr. Da and Delred. The African National Congress urges the department to work hand in hand with the sister department in providing support to farmers and must, as a matter of urgency, address the provision of the lease agreements to the farmers. Mense, ek wil nou nie tussen julle en julle sopper staan nie. So ek sê the African National Congress welcomes the adoption of the report. Amandla.
Thank you, Honorable Benjamin. Honorable MEC Peters, you are welcome. Honorable MEC Peters Akwaba. Akwaba. Yeah, no, well, you are welcome in Ghana.
Thank you, Honorable Acting Speaker. The Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Members of the House, the Honorable Acting Premier, Honorable Chief Whip, the Executive Mayor of Sarah Parkman, and all councillors that are here. And ladies and gentlemen, goeiemiddag. Good afternoon. There is a contradiction that I would like to correct here from the honorable member. He's saying that there's no one that will have to own the land forever. But at the very same time, he's saying people want to be landowners, and also they must not be just the tenants in the farms. And also saying that as government, the ANC government, we are giving jobs to pearls. That is not true. And also those who qualify apply. But if you do not qualify, because agriculture is a specialized field, we've got agronomists, we've got agri-economists. So we've got so many people, the soil scientists. Ukuba ube nguPeter soil scientist, you can't be employed as a soil scientist. So people need to apply if they qualify. And also today, Honorable Acting Speaker, the acting HOD had a meeting with people who want goats from Egypt. There are investors that are coming to the province. They want Boer goats, Boer bokke, and we do have them in the province, and more especially on this side of the province. So our farmers are rating themselves for that. It's not as if this government is not doing anything. We are doing everything to make sure that the lives of the people we are changing the lives of the people. And also the good news, honorable members, is that DALRAD issued a notice dated 29 September this year on amendments to the guidelines of hemp cultivation, low THC cannabis for agriculture and industrial purposes, stating that a police clearance certificate is no longer applicable or required when applying for hemp permits as of the 1st of October 2023. So people whose permits or applications were rejected because of that or criminal record as a result of this amendment can now apply for hemp permit. The directive has now been resolved. And also out of the 22,620,000 vulnerable groups or households that we're targeting, where we're investing 45 million, I'm saying as of today, we have delivered to 13,544, and I got paid a financial year. Madam Speaker, first of all, I would like to extend sincere words of appreciation to honorable members of the Portfolio Committee for a great work performed during their oversight visit to this district. The visit forms part of an overall oversight work that they do to the department, including the visit to all other districts. Their leadership and guidance has assisted us as a department to improve tremendously in rendering services to all our people, and also for receiving a clean audit for the second time. These reports keep reminding us that it is always important to account for all the work we are mandated to do in order to improve lives of our people, especially the destitute and most vulnerable. Honorable Acting Speaker and honorable members, although I'm aware that the department is expected to respond in writing within the period of 30 days, allow me, however, to make some few remarks in acknowledging this important work. Let me from the onset apologize profusely on behalf of the department to the Portfolio Committee and the House of the unfortunate absence of both the office of the HOD, on the first day of the visit, as they arrived on the second day, and that will not happen again. Through the district office, we mobilized farmers in Graaff-Reinet as agreed with the researcher that was facilitating the meeting. There was clearly a misunderstanding that all local municipalities were supposed to attend, and we will improve on that also. On the issue of lease agreement, as the department were engaging with Delrad, as we all know that farms belong to the national department, as this function was not delegated to provinces. And we are talking to the minister and making sure that they fast track that. And we are also saying the head of the department is mandated and is also started working with Delrad to make sure that we develop a system of coordination for improved service delivery to farmers, and this covers the entire province, because there is a tendency of farmers double dipping, getting assistance from Delrad and also getting assistance from Dr. Da, whereas we are one department. So now we are working together as Delrad and make sure those that have been assisted by Delrad in that financial year, they are not assisted by Dr. Da, so that we can be able to cover quite a number of farmers. As the department, we are encouraging all farmers to apply when the farms are advertised by Delrad, and most of the time, farms are bought with water rights, and where there are no water rights, they will be encouraged to apply for water licenses from the relevant department. In growing the economy, creating employment opportunities, and increasing the scale of production in the last financial year and this financial year, as I've already alluded to that yesterday and this morning, we have set aside money for blended finance. And also there are farmers that have already benefited from that. I'll be handing over some of the equipment that they've bought out of that money to the farmers of Mushwa, the pineapple. In order for us, Madam Speaker, to resolve the issue of office space, as the department will work with Dr. Peyas Nodier, but there is an office in Dr. Peyas Nodier that is situated here in Graaff-Reinet, but we'll have a satellite office in Jansonville. And also currently in this area, we've got 9 extension officers, and we've got 4 animal technicians and 1 economist and 2 engineers, and this is sufficient to service the area. When it comes to a challenge of a need for agricultural school in the area, we have engaged the National Department of Agriculture and also the National Department of Higher Education and Training. Because if you talk of the Agricultural College, it belongs to the National Department of Higher Education and Training. But when it comes to agricultural schools, and where you are saying that agriculture must be done as one of the subjects in the schools, there are schools in the districts that are doing agriculture as a subject, but there are few there's only one school in Petensi that is an agricultural school in the province, and we are working with the Department of Education to make sure that there is agricultural schools in the province. And also we've been saying that agriculture must be made a compulsory subject in basic education. But we're urging the district to make sure that you coordinate all the local municipalities, and you agree as Sarah Partman, where do you want the agricultural college? Because you can't have agricultural colleges in all the 7 local municipalities. We're also working with the Department of Community Safety to advocate work for farmers, livestock, branding and animal movement regulations. That partnership will be extended to Agri-Eastern Cape as part of the Rural Safety Program. And we are also having a pilot program that we're still doing in our own livestock at Tony with Vodacom. Apho uzawukwazi uyibona igusha yakho okanye inkomo yakho nobiphi uyibone necondition ekuyo, whether it's dehydrated or whatever the condition of your livestock. We have assigned an economist in the district to assist the identified farmer and all other farmers to access the markets, and will be monitoring that as the head office, and will expect quarterly reports from the region on that with regards, and we'd also be able to furnish that with that information portfolio committee. With regards to the challenge of theft and drought, the department is encouraging the farmers to continue with the 7-hectare lucerne to mitigate the negative impact of drought, because we're assisting them also to plant lucerne farmer, so that when the time of drought comes, they are able to have a feed for their livestock. We are also working with our communities to revive and intensify community policing forums so as to curb stock theft, as I've already alluded to that in the morning session, that we need to revive police forums and make sure that they are strong. Ngoba amasela sihlala nawo apha ezilokishini zethu asebenze nabantu abasuka ngaphandle. We encourage farmers to also participate in these forums. The water and electricity rates are charged as standard rates applicable to all water users, because electricity is charged by Eskom and water by water and sanitation. But what we can do as the department will support the farmers to optimally use the land so as to pay all expenses, and that will be cost effective. And as the department, we treat all farmers in the same way. There is a perception created that Udelrat has programs that are supporting only land reform farms, whereas as Dr. Da was supporting all categories of farmers. This may be due to the policies that are in place, because when Udelrat gives a land back to the people, they do give them money also to revitalize that. We are committed to improve in returning the results for soil tests, and in this particular case that was mentioned by the portfolio committee, is that the results have been received and they were shared with the farmer concerned. And as the department, we've budgeted for the storage shed in the next financial year, and other things that have been requested by farmers will be budgeted for in the outer years. The department, we are confirming the challenge of access roads to farms generally, and we are working with the Department of Roads to facilitate, and also with local municipalities to facilitate
2 minutes, 2 minutes
the
left.
repairs of access roads in all municipalities. And lastly, Chair, we are saying always do your best. What you plant now, you will harvest later. Kuma farmer ndithi, it always seems impossible until it's done. Madam Speaker, we acknowledge and accept the report with all its recommendations and commit to respond within the stipulated time frame. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC Peters. I put the report of the Portfolio Committee on Rural Development and Agrarian Reform. Any objections?
None and never.
All the reports for the day. Order, honorable members. All the reports for the day have been dealt with and duly adopted. That concludes the discussion and business for today. The House will adjourn until tomorrow, (26th October 2023 at 10 a.m. All members and the members of the public are requested to please stand up and remain standing until the procession has left the House. The House is adjourned.